Hello and welcome, family, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways. Yeah, and that you're moving into living life truly in your own narrative. It's absolutely possible, family. I am living proof of that, and it just gets better from here. Special shout out to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform. Family, I don't know how I missed this particular story, but I thought I'd bring it to our attention, especially as many of us awakened ones are just being led to meditate on the total and complete liberation and positioning of, Mama Africa, if you want to call her that. And there's all the names, Kemet, Ethiopia, whatever. But the motherland, because it is our season, it is our age, family. The power and the rulership is coming back to the South. But the reason it's taking so long for our people to be liberated is because our people don't even know they're not free, because they're moving in the matrix. They have, the little job, they have the whole Babylon Western culture. They don't even overstand and understand that that alone is a form of colonization, family. It's a cultural colonization. I mean, the colonization is on a multiple scale. Economic, cultural. And the sad thing is, family, we don't even have an organization right now, be it spiritual or religious, whatever you want to call it, be it, the African Union, be it any government, that can stand up or will stand up against the continued assassination of our leaders. And we as Africans, we have to realize the motherland, they play on the motherland like it's a chessboard. I mean, for crying out loud, in 1884, they sat somewhere and carved it up like this. That's why most of Africa has these direct lines that cut through communities, mountains, all this craziness, rivers, who cares? These people belong here, these people belong here. This is the neocolonial system, which is why for the last 3 years I've been saying we've never been free. We've never tasted freedom. Existing as a wage slave in your oppressor's reality is not freedom, family. Whether you get a party, whether you get to enjoy this or the physical, the material things. You know what we've given up or had to give up to enjoy these material things? We gave up creatorship, family. For a few tricks and, gimmicks and things that don't even last, that make you sick, weak, brainless, and will eventually turn you into a zombie. I mean, that's where we are. But family, I didn't know that at the beginning of the year, it was finally confirmed what we've always known. We didn't need Babylon to tell us this. But leaked Hillary Clinton emails allegedly revealed that NATO are the ones who took out Gaddafi to stop the formation of a United States of Africa. And the sad thing is, I didn't see this, it didn't hit the media. It didn't hit the mainstream media even across Africa. This should be an outrage. This is so blatant, family. And this story was already out there, but this is the confirmation. This is like the evidence now. Because Gaddafi, and I've talked about this before, but it's always good. You can always talk about the same thing from a different angle. Gaddafi's whole vibe or mission was to unite Africa, and he was doing it on multiple levels. Culturally, he went to the elders of different nations. Whatever you think of Gaddafi is not important. It's what he was trying to achieve for our people and what was done to him because of the vision he had for our people, which shows you that ultimately the greatest threat to Western hegemony is a United States of Africa. And that's why we've been fractured so much on an individual level, on among nations. We've been reduced to tribes, which is just a collective of like random people. We were not tribes. The people of the Caucasus Mountains are tribes. We were nations. We had social order. We had, cultural order. We had laws. We had a governance system, highly advanced. These are all the things that define a nation. But Gaddafi, so he had been meeting the elders on a cultural level and inviting them, to Libya, etc., etc. But of the 3,000 emails which were released from, Hillary's private email server in 2015, one of them was dated April 2nd, 2011. And it talked about how, and I quote, Gaddafi's government holds 143 tons of gold, and a similar amount of silver. This gold was accumulated prior to the current rebellion and was intended to be used to establish a pan-African currency based on the Libyan golden dinar. And at this point, family, when Gaddafi was getting ready to do this, Libyans they lived in their houses for free. You'd get a free house when you got married. They even got a stipend from the national oil that was being sold. And many other things. But the thing that caught me about this narrative is, guess who Gaddafi's best friend was back then? None other than Obama. Family. And it is eventually Obama who took him out. Because when he became president of the free world, Gaddafi became an enemy. And we can't forget the role of Sarkozy, who was then the president of France. And I have a feeling, I don't know if it's Sarkozy, but there was one French president who received a lot of money, family, from Gaddafi to run his campaign. And I think he was in court for it. Maybe you can see that here. But the then president of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, made the decision to commit to the attack of Libya. And his whole purpose for doing this was to was money. Gain a bigger economic share of Libyan oil, chess move, and also increase, the French influence in North Africa. Because France has never stopped their colonial and neocolonial agenda. It just shifted from one to another. It pivoted. It's like, okay, so we're not doing colonialism, so we'll do neocolonialism. And the sad thing is, Gaddafi even said, and I quote, "May his soul rest in total power. Obama wants to kill me to take away the freedom of our country, to take away free housing, our free medicine, our free education, our free food, and replace it with American-style thievery called capitalism. But all of us in the third world know what that means. It means corporations run the countries, run the world, and the people suffer." You see, everything that's happening today, Gaddafi was standing in the way of that. And that's why they had to take him out. And the reason I bring this up, family, is because the primary agenda, vision, goal, whatever you want to call it, objective that the Mzungu stands on one accord for is Africa shall never be united. We all know that. And Africa shall never be free, because we are literally their bread basket, their natural resource basket. Anyway, let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, family, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. It is so sad that no action, no reaction has been taken since, it was revealed Well, it was confirmed through the leaked emails of Hillary that Gaddafi was literally taken out by NATO to stop the formation of the United States of Africa. And the way he was planning to do it was economically. He'd accumulated so much gold. He refused to be on the petrodollar. That already created a situation. He was going to do it, mainly through a Pan-African bank, and to get all African nations on this gold standard and have them use their minerals or whatever. So it would have been such a game changer, family. But you see, the reason Babylon uses wizards and witches is so that they can see what's coming ahead and block it or create clones, Oreos, coconuts, whatever you want to call them, that look like us but aren't kinfolk, that can be running their agenda. I mean, the Masonic agenda started almost 100 plus years ago when they built lodges across Africa, and they have ensured that these are the ones who become presidents of nations, of banks, of judiciaries, basically running of media. They're the ones that become the tycoons. And they've been the proxy for the neocolonial agenda for so long, family. But Gaddafi was literally betrayed by Obama. We all know that. Hillary took him out. Well, NATO. And this should be, because so many people are being led to feel like they're going to be taking on the leadership of their nations, of their communities, in a season that is fast approaching. It's not here yet, but it's fast approaching. And many of you will have to recognize you have to be ready to make a Gaddafi kind of sacrifice. And then, once you're ready to make that sacrifice for Africa, where you could lose your life for your desire to lead Africa to freedom, you have to take a step back and ensure that doesn't happen by working on your physical and spiritual protection. Like, we know the stories, family. And we still make them go viral, which continues the spell. That's why it's so frustrating that the things that trend among our people are how we were oppressed, suppressed, and that story, it's a loop because we're not looking at ways to get out of it. And the way you really seriously know that you're trying to get out of it is individually. You start to move different. You start to shift your own life on an individual level. Too many people reach out to me who are still living comfortably in their Babylon lifestyle, but they want to talk about the liberation of Africa. You have to have shifted into a warring kind of lifestyle. When we went to war, there are many things that our nations didn't do. When you're getting ready to liberate a nation, because this shows you, this whole story of Gaddafi shows you, family, that our liberation is not going to come through a democratic way. It's not going to come through the African Union. It's not going to come through these foreign Western-made nations of Zambia and Kenya and, Zimbabwe and whatever, South Africa, Senegal. It's not going to come that way. Africa will will only be freed through a spiritual restoration, family, because that is what will give us the necessary energy to remove everything and start anew. And that's why, out of everything they've done, they've concentrated the hardest on religious colonization, on it's almost like religious slavery. Because many of our people see the Creator as a Mzungu man, they submit to a wage slave system run by the Mzungu man because it's all just messed up in their heads. They think that's the way it should be. But I pray that one day we will have an organization powerful enough that will be able to call to book, to make the world tremble by asking for justice for the Gaddafis, the Magufulis. I can't remember the name of the former Burundian president. Those whose only sin to the Babylon system was trying to liberate their people. A season is coming, family, when Africa will fight for its liberation. Those who fight will be spared the global destruction. And those who stand in the way of the restoration of their own people will continuously fall with the God they serve of that world. Because their time is up, our time is coming. We may not see how it's going to manifest, we may not see how it's going to come about, but it's coming. Tuko pamoja.